What you barking at, boy? Huh? He wants to play, go four-wheeler riding. He don't want me to work. So I just hit this pin twice with my 16-pound sledge. Somebody said I needed a 16-pound sledge. I was using a baby hammer. Well, that's what I'm swinging. 16-pounder. Hit it twice and it just stuffed it all the way back in. So I'm gonna see if I can hook up the ram and hopefully she'll come out of the hole. What? What are you barking at me for? I ain't got time to go play. Go to the house. Go find Tammy. Go to the house. Went in. Now it won't come out. Okay, so I think this shaft is actually seized to the bearing, because if I take the ram off and I pound this in, it goes back in, and the bearing, you probably can't see it from here, but it's out of the bore part way and up against this pin boss, this other bore, and I took the grease fitting out. And I run a wire down in there. It's nothing but bug dust. And I filled it full of some penetrating oil and then ran my wire in. It won't even go down in through. So I think that's what's wrong, is That one, that's the grease fitting. That thing ain't had grease in 100 years. So I think that both the one on the top, when it came out kabang, it was seized to the shaft. I'll show you the bearing in it. These haven't had grease either. You can see how dry a hole that is. Now the other ends that came out easy have grease residue in them. They've been greased. And these two top ones, this one came out kind of stiff, but it had grease residue. That one's going to come out. It came out easy. You can see the grease all over the side of it. Anyway, that's all the farther she'll go. So I don't know, maybe I'll just let that penetrating oil go down in there if it will. I think what I'm going to have to do is probably get out the torch and heat the end of this eyelet on the ram. But I'm going to have to undo this hose, and then I got a little teeny pump here, right here, that Jake gave me. And I'm going to have to suck the oil out of that barrel, because when you get that really hot, I don't want to risk starting an oil fire in there and have fire and oil come spitting out the hose. I'm not sure if that's a safe thing to do, is start heating that rod end and eye in the barrel and get it really hot and heat up all that oil in there. I don't know what that would do. So I think I'll let the jack off and hit it. You know, it hit it like twice with a sledgehammer and it went right back in, and this went down flush. So the pin's moving. It's just stuck in the barrel. Alright, so I took the jack pressure off, hit this pin 2 or 3 times, and it went right back in. So I don't know if you can see it. There's the bearing and there's the gap between it. So the pin is froze to the bearing, and the penetrating oil I put in the greaser hole is not going anywhere. So that's the problem, is it's froze to the shaft, the bearing. And I'm sure the other one's the same way, because I took the grease fitting out of it and sprayed some oil, and you can stick the wire down in there, and there's just like a little bit of soft grease. I think somebody tried to, too late. I don't think that's had any grease forever. So I can run the wire down in there when I get the penetrating oil in, and it's goopy. It won't take it. And the deal with these is, it's not like there's a hole all the way to the pin. What they use is, I'm sure they use the same thing. Yeah, I know they do, because I looked in the parts book. So there's not just one complete whole bearing. There's 2 bearings, and then there's a spacer in here, and it's got a large slot in it. See right there. And it's just full of hardened grease in there. And so I have to get these out, and I'm going to have to take the bearings out and clean all that old solidified grease out, put new bearings and stuff back in there, or it's never going to grease. No. I guess I should get out the grease gun and see if the hinge pins, if any of these will take grease. Because if those won't take grease, yeah, you guys will have to thermal arc those pins out. They're just, you can't get them out of there. There's no way. No way. Go for it. Straighten up? Yeah, keep it good. that turn. Yeah, it ain't gonna never go fast unless we make her turn. Awesome. Yeah. I think we can probably pull it out by hand now. If I get hold of that barrel, don't you think? Get the weight off of it. Yeah. That was insane. Just finally started coming out. Yeah, I'm gonna get the crane hooked up to this barrel and then we can probably tap it out. Hey, guess what? That's right. Say it with me all together. Jeff wins. Okay, so pin finally came out and Matt had to hold one sledgehammer against this while I hit that sledgehammer with the 16-pounder. And you couldn't put a lot of force on the end of that pin, just a little bit. Then every time you'd hit this, it'd come out and come out. Finally it snapped and it finished coming out. But you can see, so it was stuck so bad on this side. When you put the full 50 tons to it, what it was trying to do was spread this ear and bind it up even worse. And the way I figured that out was I came out here and I hit that with a sledgehammer and it went right back in. I'm like, what the hell? Come over here with a sledgehammer, hit the other end, and it started coming out. Put the press on it, the 50-ton ram, ain't going anywhere. So once I figured that out, it didn't take too long. It still took several dozen, 100 hits to get it to pop loose, but it finally did. Now this one over here, what I'm going to do on it is Matt's gone to go get me another bottle of acetylene. I'm going to take the rosebud, heat the end of the pin up, both ends really hot, let them cool back off, then whack it with a hammer, see if she starts to come loose, and then put the ram on it. But before I do that, I'll clean this pin up in the holes, put the pin back in so that there's no way we can tweak one of these ears. But Jeff wins. That's all that matters. So a lot of guys kept telling me I just needed to lance them out, and yeah, that would have been the easy way, but you wouldn't be nearly as entertained. And like I say, you know, can I get the pins? How much are they? Are they $1,000 a piece? You know, my time isn't worth that much. Somebody said just take the guts out of the barrel. Well, I couldn't because the damn greaser hole was plugged up and one of the bearings was partway out the hole. So it had to come off so I can repair that and make it so that it'll grease. Put new bearings in the hole. Okay, end of day whatever it is, getting these out. So get that one out and it goes back in good, other than when you crank it around there where it should go, it binds up. So I don't know, maybe the pin's bent, but it goes in now, the bore good. That one over there, I've heated it twice, cooled it off with water. I've used dry ice on the pin. I can't make it budge. Haven't given up yet, but I may have to use a lance on that one. I've got an air arc. I could go after the ends and go in there quite a ways with the air arc maybe, but I hate that because it just blows stuff all over you. Gonna need a fireproof suit for that one. I'll let it cool off. I'll be out here bright and early in the morning. Everything's cool. And maybe heat it up and try it again. If I could just get it to move a little, I'd have some hope of getting it out, but I can't make it budge. So that one may be a lost cause. I don't know. Well, anyway, I'm going in the house, take a shower. It's been a hot one today. I've had enough. It's pretty hard on a penguin to go from 50 in the 50s to 90. You know how penguins are. I'd go take Griffey for a ride on a four-wheeler. He'll love that. You guys have a good one.